students. Today we are going to discuss about the next topic under the 5th unit, that is the primary metabolites. Okay, so here in this Indian syllabus it is given the introduction to the primary metabolites. Okay, as we had discussed in the earlier classes regarding the primary and the secondary metabolites. Okay, what is meant by primary metabolites? Primary metabolites are nothing but these are the substances which is going to be occur in the larger amount in the plants, okay, when compared to the secondary metabolites. So these primary metabolites are going to be directly involved in the normal growth, development and reproduction process. And these are going to be considered as the biomolecules which is going to be required for the basic metabolic process. And this can be extracted from the plants very easily. For example, if I take one of the example that starch which is going to be extracted from the potato. Next is, if you see, these are the part of the basic molecular structure of the cell. And these are highly useful to the plant and they are found from the start of the plant life. Okay. If you take some of the examples for the primary metabolites are carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. So these are all going to be considered under the primary metabolites. Now I will discuss about the carbohydrates. So here in this topic of carbohydrates we are going to cover the small introduction, occurrence and distribution, and next is classification, identification, test and properties of the carbohydrates. So coming to the introduction to the carbohydrates, so these are considered as a group of compounds. Okay, so these are going to be considered as a group of compounds which is going to be composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So here in this, carbohydrates is a group of compounds which composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So the carbohydrate formula is a molecular formula is going to be considered as CnH2O taken n times. Okay, so here in this the last two molecules, the last two elements, so this H2O is the same proportion as that in the water. The word carbohydrates can be traced back to Germans who called them as a colon hydrates. Then it was termed as a carbohydrates in English. If you see the definition, nothing but some of the compounds, okay, some of the compounds is also having the same elements as that of carbohydrates, but these are not going to be considered as the carbohydrates, such as acetic acid which is having the molecular formula as C2H4O2, and next is lactic acid which is having molecular formula C3H6O3. So these are also having the same group of compounds that is known as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in its molecular formula as that of carbohydrates, but these are not going to be considered under the carbohydrates classification. So based on this category, a new definition has been created. Okay, so what is meant by carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are nothing but these are the polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones and the derivatives which is going to be derived from them. These are the polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxy ketones are the compounds then on hydrolysis produces either of the above. Okay, either it will give aldehydic compound or else ketonic compound, and these are going to be occur much abundant in the plant when compared to the animals. Next, if you see the occurrence of carbohydrates, carbohydrates are widely distributed in the plants and animals, and it is also found in green plants, but the process is which is known as photosynthesis process. So what is meant by photosynthesis process? This process occurs with the presence of chlorophyll pigment and sunlight. So here in this is the photosynthesis process where the 6 molecules of the carbon dioxide is going to be combined with the 6 molecules of the water molecule. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment, it leads to the formation of a glucose molecule with a molecular formula of C6H12 O6 with the liberation of 6 molecules of oxygen. So this is the photosynthesis process. Next, these carbohydrates utilized by the animals in the form of food. Okay, so not only the animals but also the human beings are going to utilize these carbohydrates for their food purpose. And some of the examples for the carbohydrates are glucose, sugar, starch, cellulose. These are used by the human beings and animals, and these are all its molecular formula. Glucose, its molecular formula is C6H12O6, whereas sugar, its molecular formula is C12H22O11. Starch, its molecular formula is C6H10O5. Cellulose, its molecular formula is C6H10O5 taken n times. So these are all the molecular formulas for the glucose, sugar, starch and cellulose. Animals can synthesize carbohydrates from fat and proteins. Next is classification. So here in this classification, these sugars, nothing but carbohydrates, are going to be broadly categorized into two types, that is known as simple sugars and polysaccharides. Under the simple sugars, it includes monosaccharides and oligosaccharides. Here this oligosaccharides is again divided into three types, that is known as disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. See here, oligosaccharides, it is going to be categorized as di, tri and tetrasaccharide. So based on the number of sugar molecules, it has been categorized. So here in this monosaccharides, it consisting of the only one sugar molecule. It doesn't undergo any further hydrolysis. So based on the chemical structure, it is again categorized as, based on the number of carbon atoms, based on the chemical structure, it has been categorized as bioses, trioses, tetroses, pentoses and hexose, and last one is heptose. For the triose, one of the example is glyceraldehyde and its molecular formula is C3H6O3. For the tetroses, one of the example is erythrose, its molecular formula is C4H8O4. Next one is pentose. For that example is arabinose, its molecular formula is C5H10O5. Next is hexoses. Its molecular formula is C6H12O6. For that example is glucose. And the last one, that is known as heptose. For this example is glucoheptose. Next is oligosaccharides. So here in this oligosaccharides, it has been categorized into three types, that is disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. Here in this disaccharides, it is a combination of two sugar molecules, nothing but it is a combination of two molecules of monosaccharides. Upon hydrolysis, it gives two molecules of the sugar. For that example is sucrose and maltose. Next is trisaccharides. So here in this, it is composed of three molecules of monosaccharides. Upon hydrolysis, it gives three molecules of monosaccharides. For this example is raffinose and raminose. Next is tetrasaccharides. So here in this, it consisting of four molecules of monosaccharides. Example for this is stachyose. Next is polysaccharides. The number of sugar molecules here in this is, it will be n number of sugar molecules. So it is also known as non-sugars. For that example, you can take starch, mucilage, cellulose, etc. Inulin, etc. Next is monosaccharide. See here, it consisting of the only one sugar molecule which cannot be further hydrolyzed to the simple sugars. So these are the different structures for the trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and heptoses. Okay, so these are all the chemical structures for the different groups of different monosaccharides. So next is disaccharides. So upon hydrolysis, it yields two molecules of monosaccharides. See here two examples, that is sucrose and maltose. Sucrose on hydrolysis, it gives glucose plus fructose, whereas maltose, it gives glucose plus glucose. Next is trisaccharides. Its molecular formula is C18H32O16. On hydrolysis, it gives three molecules of monosaccharides. For this example is raffinose and raminose. Raffinose on hydrolysis, it gives three molecules of monosaccharide, that is known as glucose, fructose and galactose. And next one is ramenose. For this, on hydrolysis it gives ramenose and galactose. And tetrasaccharides, for this molecular formula is C24H42O21. On hydrolysis it will yield 4 molecules of monosaccharides. For this example is stachyose. It gives, on hydrolysis it gives 4 molecules of sugar, that is known as glucose, fructose, galactose and galactose. Next is physical and chemical properties of carbohydrates. So here in this physical and chemical properties of carbohydrates, so simple sugars are mostly crystalline in nature and these are going to be soluble in water and sweet in taste and need digestion in order to be absorbed in the bloodstream. Next is polysaccharides. So polysaccharides, for this one of the example is starch, and in this it is going to be available as amorphous. It is going to be available as amorphous compound, and these are not going to be soluble in the water, and these are not having any taste. They form colloidal suspension instead of solution and must be digested before being absorbed. Next is identification test for carbohydrates. The main identification test for the carbohydrate is Mollis test. See here, this is the Mollis test. Here in this, the sample solution is going to be treated with the alpha naphthol and concentrated sulfuric acid. It gives purple colored ring at the junction of two phases, which indicates presence of the carbohydrates. This gives positive taste for both simple sugars and also for the polysaccharides. Next test is reduction test, nothing but reduction of failing solution. Failings test we can say, okay. So here in this, the sample solution is going to be treated with the equal quantity of the failing solution A and B. On heating, it gives brick red precipitate. It gives brick red precipitate, which indicates the presence of reducing sugars. Next is the main identification test for the carbohydrates is Osazone formation test. So here in this, the sample solution is treated with the phenyl hydrogen hydrochloride, sodium acetate and acetic acid. Whenever it is going to be treated with these three different reagents, three different chemical substances, on heating it forms yellow color crystals. It will give different types of crystals, different shapes for the crystals such as needle shaped crystals, ball like crystals. Okay, so different types of crystals we can see. So these are the yellow crystals which we can see by means of Osazone test. Next is Benedict's test. Here in this Benedict's test, sample solution is treated with the Benedict's reagent. On boiling, it gives red, yellow or green PPT, which indicates presence of reducing sugar. Next, for the polysaccharides, one of the identification test is iodine test. So here in this iodine test, sample solution is treated with the iodine solution. It gives blue color, which indicates the presence of polysaccharides. Next test is Barfoed's test. Here in this Barfoed's test, the sample solution is treated with the Barfoed's reagent and glacial acetic acid. Upon addition of these two reagents or two chemicals, after addition of these two chemicals, it is going to be boiled for about 3 minutes and it is cooled. It gives red color, which indicates the presence of reducing sugars. Next test is Selvinov's test. Here in this Selvinov's test, sample solution is treated with the Selvinov's reagent and it is boiled for about 2 minutes. It gives red color, which indicates the presence of reducing sugars. Reducing sugars, that is one of the examples for this is fructose. Thank you.